Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. It is Wednesday, the 13th of March. Welcome to the show. We have Amanda here with me tonight.
Yeah, we do.
We got rid of all the other pests in the studio. No, I'm just kidding. It was a great show yesterday. If you didn't watch yesterday's show, you should go back and rewatch. Mm-hmm. We actually rewatched the end. We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
We missed a detail.
We missed one detail that we should have commented on because we're having so much fun with all the other stuff.
Yes.
But it'll be a fun day today, and we're going to have a good time. You doing good?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You survived homeschooling today?
I did.
Your kids survived you homeschooling them?
To be determined.
And I have an update on a fire on the island.
Fire island.
It was this morning. So everybody's fine. Everybody's safe, but it was this morning. So.
Oh, man.
All right, speaking of fires, you need insurance.
You do.
Opening their doors in 2008, Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has proudly stood by their customers through hurricanes, major flood, hail, and fires. Through these events, the agency has become a much-needed insurance resource in times of trouble and hardship. Honesty and integrity are the pillars of their core values, says owner Ashley Casey, and they pride themselves on being insurance experts while developing strategies that help their clients meet their insurance needs. They love St. Augustine. They love helping you. Like they're my insurance company for this show.
Yes, absolutely.
So I just wrote them a check the other day, and I was very glad to do it, and I'm glad they're insuring me because of the shenanigans that go on Tuesday.
What? I feel like I'm getting blamed for something. Yeah. All right. A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing. They offer free estimates and have been serving St. Johns County for over 20 years in the construction industry. A to Z offers painted metal roofs for saltwater area homes with warranties for up to 25 years. They also offer shingle roofs with warranties for up to 50 years. They install tile roofing, cedar shake shingles, designer roofing, and flat roof coverings. Recent job photos and material descriptions can be seen at A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing.com. Check out Chuck McCone and his team for all your roofing needs. We also have Bozard Ford Lincoln. Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying. Yes, we do. It's there.
Okay. Barbara Jean's just asking about volume. Sorry.
All right. We're there.
Okay. I see us. I see the mics pinging.
I see my captions too. All right. So Bozard Ford, their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head down there and have dinner with Bo and Letty at Ford's Garage. Have the Jiffy Burger.
Powell Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been in business here in St. Augustine for over 40 years. They've got an amazing facility. They've got a fleet of over 10 trucks and a 15,000 square foot warehouse stocked with parts and equipment. So they can service all of the major brands of AC units. They also are open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, including nights, weekends, and holidays. They're fantastic. Give them a call. They will take care of your AC needs. And I know right now you're going, I really don't need my AC. Summer is coming. Get that AC unit checked out. Summer is coming. And when it gets here, it gets hot. Not just kind of hot.
Yes.
Robin Williams, God rest his soul, would say, damn hot. Africa hot. So get the AC unit fixed so you'll be in good shape. Also, under our Bozard Ford Community Update page, the Emma Concert Series. The next one is March the 16th.
Yeah.
That would be 3 days from now.
Yes.
Neil Berg's 50 Years of Rock and Roll at 7:30 p.m. in the Lewis Auditorium at Flagler College. Tickets are $35 for adults.
Absolutely.
$5 for youths or students. Tickets include free parking in the St. Johns County COA at Sanctuary with complimentary shuttle to and from the venue. Save your seat.
Yes.
Save your seat.
Yes.
EmmaConcerts.com. EMMAConcerts.com.
It's going to be orchestra and musicians playing classic rock music. It's going to be a great night.
Yes. And then we also have, again, our Task Force Hydro 1.
Yep. You did it.
Luau is May the 11th. You can sign up there. Go to Task Force Hydro One's webpage. You can find out how to sign up.
Absolutely.
And then this next Saturday, March 23rd, in the Milano Room at 1915 A1A South, 6 to 9 p.m., Jimmy Jam is
Jimmy Jam, they're amazing.
They're doing a fundraiser. They're absolutely phenomenal. It's bourbon and barbecue.
Absolutely.
I'll be landing in a plane about that time. I guess you and Louie are going.
What? We're going?
I guess you and Louie are
Okay.
going. I don't know. Somebody's going. I'm not going. I know that it's not going to be me. And in the week that nothing happens except the Players' Champion starts tomorrow, there's nothing in the Jackie Hurd calendar.
Okay.
Nothing. Pete Melfi's birthday should be in there.
St. Augustine, what are you doing?
I know.
Nothing this week?
Jackie, you got to get March.
Nothing last week?
I want to see Pete Melfi's birthday in the calendar next year.
Clay's birthday, too.
Yep, Clay's
Clay
birthday.
on the 8th.
Clay on the 8th, that's
Pete
right.
on the 11th.
That's it. Clay's birthday was on International Women's Day.
Yeah. He came out of a woman. So
that's how many women love Clay. He's got his own day.
Yeah.
All right, one other announcement. This weekend, R.J. Higgins, our longtime friend on the show, who's been on here a lot,
Yes.
great individual, finished his first 3K run. He ran the Raptor run. If you go check out R.J. Higgins' page on Facebook, you'll see a nice write-up about it. He managed to do the entire thing in about 55 seconds under what he wanted to do it. He wanted to.
Well, that's good.
So he beat his time. He did all that stuff. So again, hats off and congratulations, RJ. That's his first 3K.
Yeah.
Looking forward to his first 5K.
Yeah.
And I would not put anything
he beat
past
me.
that guy. I would not. Did you walk the Raptor run?
I was at church. It was on Sunday.
Wow.
I had a live stream. In fact, because it was Clay's birthday weekend,
Yes.
on time change, I woke up into the early service for him so he wouldn't have to wake up.
Yes.
So that's part of the reason why I'm still not recovered from time change.
And I have a question for Barbara Jean. It's an important question.
Oh, man.
Because
I'm sorry, Barbara Jean.
one of the people that she dislikes the most in life was mentioned this week as a VP candidate.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers
That's weird.
was mentioned as a VP candidate for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
All right.
So I didn't know how Barbara Jean felt about that. If that was good that he would be out of the NFL and could no longer haunt the Vikings, or she would never vote for him because he haunted the Vikings. So I'm just trying to figure out where Barbara Jean falls in all of this. Did you see RJ? So you've got the post
I've got
up?
it here. I can share it.
Yeah, why don't you share that? But it's a great post.
So his goal was to go without his chair, and he did. This is him coming towards the finish line. What is happening there? You go away.
You got him?
Yeah, I got him. A pop-up just came up.
A pop-up?
A pop-up, yes. There we go.
The 90499. That's an awesome picture right there.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And he's finishing, getting his medal. That's awesome.
Yes.
Congrats, RJ.
Yeah, RJ, we're all with you, man. We're very, very happy
That's
for
awesome.
you. Yep. Cool dude.
Great moment.
Yep. Awesome moment again. I was walking with him for just a wee bit.
Yeah.
And he was really concentrating, and I realized I was completely distracting him, so I had to leave, right? As I had a full conversation. He's like, he didn't say it, but I was like, dude, I got to get through this.
So you were the me of RJ Higgins.
I appreciate you being here, but it's time to go.
You were the me to RJ Higgins, Mike Davis.
I was. I was like, all of a sudden, I felt like Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You can relate.
I can relate. But no, I was really, really proud of RJ. That's a lot of hard work.
Awesome.
And for somebody that he was told, you'll never do this, and this, his docs never, ever gave him credit for how hard a worker and how determined he is. So congratulations, buddy.
Don't tell RJ Higgins he can't do it.
No, do not.
That is what we have learned today.
Yep. Don't do that. So anyway, still waiting on Barbara Jean's comment. There was a few.
She vomited.
Oh,
she
she vomited?
Seriously, and then made vomit faces.
Oh, those are vomit faces?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Hey, Bobby, what's up?
Bobby. I think, no, I don't play. ACC basketball's going on.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the Seminoles played today at noon, so I'll have to look and see how they did.
Okay.
They were in a 8-9 matchup game, which doesn't speak well for the Seminoles, but we'll have to look and see how they did today. But the ACC tournament, all the tournaments are going on. The big dance is getting ready to get started next weekend, next Thursday. Well, actually, there's playing games like on Monday and Tuesday. Did they really? What was their score?
They beat Virginia Tech 86-76.
Oh, boy.
There you go.
Moving on up.
Seminoles beat the Hokies.
That's awesome.
What the heck is a Hokie?
Ask Bobby. He knows. He knows.
I feel like that's a dangerous question to ask.
He knows. It's a turkey.
All right.
It's a gobbler, I think.
It's gobbler?
I don't know. I'm just thinking that's what it is. Because it's
What's a Hokie? I'll find out.
You look up Hokies.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give you there's a story in the Daily Caller. Mm-hmm. And it's about Robert Kennedy is getting on all of these ballots.
Okay.
In swing states.
All
which is not good for Joe Biden and the Democrats.
Wow.
Originally, it was proposed this will be bad for Trump. And when I saw that story, I went, oh, this is probably good for Trump because the press would never say something's good for Trump.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is inching closer to gaining ballot access in critical battleground states of Nevada, Arizona, and Georgia.
Yeah.
The polling suggests that Donald Trump's lead over Joe Biden in each of those states only increases with Kennedy on the ballot.
I don't know if I agree with that.
See, you're one of the mediaites.
I don't know if I agree that it hurts only Biden.
You think it pulls from Trump as well?
I think it pulls from both of them because I think there are people that don't want either one of these candidates. And the more Trump talks about his vaccine success, then the more people are going to gravitate towards Kennedy.
I think that's an issue, but I think it's less of an issue than a lot of people would want it to be.
All right.
I don't see that as being the end all be all.
I don't know that it's the end all be all, but if people are already on the fence and they're looking for an excuse, then that's a good one.
Yeah. Do you know what percentage of Americans don't want a Biden-Trump rematch?
Isn't it like 30%?
70%. 70%.
Oh, well, I got one of the numbers.
Trivia tomorrow. Yes, you did get one of the numbers right. 70% of Americans do not want a rematch.
A Hokie is a large anthropomorphic turkey.
I said turkey.
Yep, you're right. Mm-hmm. They're the fighting gobblers.
If anybody should know what a turkey looks like, it's me.
You know what is also the fighting gobblers? Mm-hmm. This presidential election, folks.
It's not good. It's not good. Yeah. So it's interesting the states that he's on. If he gets on in those states, Kennedy would be that. At one time I thought Kennedy might poll in the high teens, but he doesn't seem to have gotten the traction. The media has completely shut him out. Mm-hmm. He has been all over social media, but I just don't think he's gotten the traction that I kind of thought that he would get. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Bobby's team's playing at 7.
And she said, good luck, Bobby. I'm not a fan of the orange. Wolfpack, yes. Orange, not so much.
The orange.
They're in New York.
Oh, Syracuse. Yeah, I don't love Syracuse.
We don't like Syracuse as much.
I knew one dude that was from Syracuse when I was in college, and he was not a nice guy.
Not a nice guy.
Tainted the whole city for me.
Speaking of relationships.
Yes.
We did have that.
Speaking of not a nice guy.
We don't know, right? Because the way the person typed the question. But yesterday's question at the end of the show, if you go back and rewatch, because I rewatched it last night. I made Darcy watch that.
Which we got sidetracked and we didn't answer.
We didn't answer the question, but it hit me today thinking about it that the person writing the question said we had known each other for 10 years.
So let's do the math. They've known each other for 10 years.
And then later in the question, she says, I'm 24.
I want kids, but I'm worried because he's about to turn 50. So we can count that. So that means he's 49. So subtract 10. That makes 39. I can do these math questions.
Yes.
All right. And then she says, and I'm 24. And his daughter's 17.
Yes, which means she was 14.
So the girlfriend was 14 when they started talking.
Online.
Yeah. And she has watched his daughter since she was 7.
Yeah. Run. Yeah, I have a whole different answer. I didn't do the math on that, but when I looked at it and came back to the math, I was like, I'm not sure
her question was that they had started dating, but they're nervous to tell their families. You should be, because this is creepy.
Well, and then it kind of made me think, was he been a family friend for a long time? I don't know.
Well, they met online.
Okay, so maybe not the family
It said that they met online and they had been talking online.
Okay.
They hadn't met in person.
All right.
For that time, and that they hadn't been together because of relationships and other things. And part of those other things might have been because it took 5 years for her to be legal.
I don't know. I don't
like it.
I don't know.
I don't like it one bit.
The whole thing.
Yeah, you should be nervous.
Yep.
If you are going to continue with this relationship, then you should definitely nail down that timeline beyond a question of shadow of a doubt, so you can decide for sure. I know some people that got together when they spawned out of a friendship, like coaches and high school kid being coached. It didn't go well.
Did it not go well? Flames?
No, it's bad.
Dumpster?
There's so many flames in that dumpster.
Not good.
So I would just say proceed with caution, or don't proceed.
Or don't proceed.
Or don't proceed
with
at
caution. Or don't proceed with caution. Yes.
Utilize caution and allow that to deter you from proceeding.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't catch that because we got sidetracked from this May-December romance thing that you guys were talking about with Taylor Swift, and I was like, which I didn't even know who Taylor Swift was. Darcy had to tell me when I got home.
Yeah.
I'm always forgetting who she is.
You're the one that brings her up.
Only when Davey's
Half
here.
the time.
Only when Davey's here. You should see how excited he gets when there's a Taylor Swift story.
He does.
He loves talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah. I'm hoping we talk about Oscar fashions, the award show fashions, when you're gone next week.
And you guys can do anything you want when I'm gone next week. I did watch...
There were some weird outfits.
I watched a trailer for the movie with Emma Stone.
Poor Things.
That is creepy.
It's a weird trailer.
That is creepy. First of all, some of the actors in there are creepy. Willem Dafoe. Yeah. Creepy.
Yeah.
He plays a lot of creepy characters. It's like there's a casting sheet. It's like main characters are creepy. Someone call Willem Dafoe and see if he's available.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Boondock Saints? He's been in some really good movies, but he's been in some really creepy movies too.
Yeah. He was in Boondock Saints, wasn't he? I think he was the homophobic gay detective in Boondock Saints.
I don't know.
I'll see.
What is Boondock Saints? What's it about? Who directed it?
It was him.
Who was... Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was him. So he's the investigator, the detective investigating the, what is it? McWhat boys? The brothers.
The McMasters? The McMillans?
I don't know.
The McManus.
The McManus brothers. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yes.
But Willem Dafoe, I remembered his character because he was like in bed with dudes and then like being verbally abusive and saying homophobic slurs to the guys he had just hooked up with. And I'm like, that's really weird. Why is that included in this movie? So he was, clearly he had issues.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
But, the McManus brothers, they were vigilantes. Vigilante movie.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah. It's kind of an iconic movie.
It never hit my radar.
And Sean Patrick Flannery was a hottie. And
Sean Patrick Flannery also played young Indiana Jones.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought River Phoenix did.
No, it was a TV series, Young Indiana Jones.
Oh, on the TV series.
And he was on TV, and he was. That's Sean Patrick. Yes.
You got it. Young Indiana Jones, 92 to 93.
Yep. There was actually some decent stories about Indy's life in World War One, his time traveling around the world. There were some pretty good. Some of the episodes were painfully slow.
Yeah.
Like they had a 5-minute script and they said, we have to stretch this into 40 minutes of airtime.
Yeah.
Painfully slow. If you had insomnia back in 92 and 93, some of those episodes would cure that.
That might be why it was only 92 or 93.
Some of them were pretty good, but some of them were like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. There was a fire over on the island, an apartment fire this morning.
Okay.
I know because of an eyewitness.
All right.
I have a friend who was over there near the fire.
Okay.
It was actually so near the fire, someone knocked on his door. And then they knocked again. And then they knocked again.
Was the fire in his apartment?
Close. And then they yelled fire the last time.
Yeah.
To which his response was, they could have started with that. Like the first knock could have been fire and then a knock, and I would have moved quicker.
Is this friend a millennial? Because this sounds like a millennial move. I don't answer my door. If someone knocks on my door and I'm not expecting them, I'm not answering the door.
He's young. He's young.
All right.
So yeah, and then there was this whole, I'm not going to go into the details of the wheres and the whys of it, but could have been really, really bad this morning for my friend. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that
he's okay. The person in the apartment was okay. It was very near to him, and he was concerned about how much water was used to put out the fire. So there's a little discrepancy whether it was 50 gallons or 1 gallon, but since he had no water in his apartment, I told him it had to be 1 or less.
Interesting.
Yes. Very, very interesting. Lots of smoke.
All right.
And it was because I saw the trucks leaving from everywhere to go that way on the way in. I'm like, well, gosh, that's a lot of people from the fire department moving in one direction. And then like 10 minutes later, I found out why.
Yeah?
Yep. So.
That's rough. I'm glad your friend's okay.
You don't want to be in a fire.
I'm sorry for whoever was on fire.
RJ is watching. RJ,
Hi, RJ.
If you missed the first few minutes of the show, cycle back and catch that.
Yeah.
Because we had nice things to say about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, we only say nice things about him.
Yes, we do.
But we just brought him up this time.
We brought him up. Very nice things. Congratulations on the run, buddy.
Yeah.
Really proud of you. And Amanda hacked your Facebook page and put that out there.
We showed it.
We showed it. We're very, very proud of you. All right. So Georgia news.
News.
Donald Trump, some of the charges were dropped.
Yep.
In his case. I'm waiting for this case to completely fall apart.
Well, it's starting to.
First of all, I wonder who the prosecutor's going to be. I can't imagine they leave the prosecutors on the
Business
case.
Insider, Trump wins rare court victory as Georgia judge dismisses 3 criminal counts against him. So there's discrepancy because you read 4. Mm-hmm. The original headline that I saw was 6.
Yep.
And now Reuters is saying some, and Business Insider is saying 3. So who knows?
Reuters.
Whatever.
Reuters, what we use in here.
This is like fake news, guys. This one says 3. Yep. This one says 6. Mm-hmm. And this one right here. Some,
which means they didn't want to give any of that.
They didn't want to fact check anything.
They want to fact check nothing.
They didn't want to do any of that journalisming.
So that will be very interesting. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday, Hur testified before Congress. And that was
who?
Robert Hur, who did the Hur report, H-U-R, not H-E-R, H-U-R.
Is his birthday on International Women's Day too?
No, I don't know when his birthday is. I didn't look. But one of the Democratic representatives was trying to say that he exonerated Trump, and he stopped her, Jay Powell, in the middle of her pre-programmed speech to get on TV. Mm-hmm. And interrupted and said, I didn't exonerate anybody. The word exonerated is not one time in my report is that word mentioned.
Yeah.
So, there were people saying that it was a bit of a mess of a hearing. You had all the Democrats saying, hey, Biden's not cognitively having a problem. Mm-hmm. Right?
Except that we're not charging him because he cognitively
has a problem. And then he was in New Hampshire yesterday speaking to a room smaller than this. And then I asked if it was okay if he took questions. I don't know if I'm allowed to take questions. Are you the president or are you not the president?
You're kind of the only one that doesn't have to ask permission about anything.
He goes out there and says, I'm going to do this because I'm the president. Mm-hmm. And then he asks if he can take questions. Which one is it?
I know.
If you're in charge, be in charge. Be in charge all the time.
Yeah. It doesn't inspire much confidence.
Yes.
To have him shaking hands with nothing, getting lost on a stage, not knowing which way to leave the stage, and then asking for permission to answer questions. Mm-hmm.
The asking for permission is the one that bothers me the most.
Yeah.
I'm okay if he talks to dead people.
He's like the kid from Sixth Sense.
It might be like Lincoln. Didn't Lincoln see when there are ghosts in the White House?
I think his wife was the one.
His wife was the one. Well, you know
she was the one that was in and out of institutions.
She was a little bit of crazy.
Yeah, she kind of, so they say that she kind of lost her mind because she kept having kids die. So
that would have been traumatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the way they would treat mental illness back then usually had to do with incredibly strong narcotics.
Yeah, heroin, opium, right?
Yeah.
Just take some
So that
opium.
probably didn't help.
Just some opium will be fine for you. You'll be okay next week.
You're a little sad. Let's give you enough tranquilizers to kill an elephant.
That's right. Barbara Jean says, when the gas station blew up at State Road 16 in Masters Drive,
I was pregnant then.
our home was supposed to be evacuated. I was at work. My husband ignored the knock at the door.
Yeah.
You might want to, so he's not a millennial for sure.
Yeah, I was home. I was pregnant with Gavin. And it gets real hot real fast when they cut the power because of explosion. So we heard something. My mom was in town, and Louis was actually off that day. And so we're all kind of hanging out while Isabella's napping. And it got really hot, and it was like, not going to stay here. And we made a keepsake for each of our kids. We had a little Build-A-Bear sound recorder that we recorded their heartbeat from the womb on a Doppler. And then we put that into a Build-A-Bear. So each of them has their own heartbeat in a Build-A-Bear. And so we were like, all right, well, when she wakes up, we're going to go to Build-A-Bear and we're going to do that. Because it's AC up in Avenues, but there's no AC here.
You got to get what you can get back then,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you got to go, hey, I got to be creative.
Yeah.
If you went to the mall, you could have hung out there.
That's where we went. We went to the mall.
But you went to the Jacksonville Mall.
Because they have Build-A-Bear.
The St. Augustine Mall didn't have nothing.
No.
Back then, it was already nothing. It's
They
in
had
trouble.
Le Gourmet Chef, and we had already spent a lot of money there.
Yeah.
I got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis because when we came home from a vacation, we didn't have AC, and my joints were bothering me. So I called the orthopedic doctor to see if he would see me. I had popped, I used to pop my knuckles, and I had popped a couple of knuckles, and they just stayed red and inflamed the whole vacation. So I was like, maybe I hurt myself. Let's all go as a family to the orthopedist.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out I had rheumatoid arthritis.
Hang on. I got to text somebody.
Hiding from no AC in the house. Yeah, and that took a few days to get sorted.
That's a tomorrow morning.
So I was pregnant and early trimester pregnant and very sick, and we had no AC.
That would not have been.
We borrowed a window unit, and we only existed in a single room in the house until it got fixed.
How long were you out of power?
About a week.
Because of
that we were home.
Because of the gas station.
No, this was a different time. I'm just giving stories of things I've done because I didn't have AC. The gas station, they just cut our power as a precautionary measure.
Yeah.
Because of where the explosion happened. So they just cut power to everywhere in West King, the West Augustine area. So we were all out of power. And so that time we went up to Avenues Mall.
Okay.
Had some Chick-fil-A, had American Cookie Company.
What's the longest you've been without power? Days.
So the longest I've been without power, I've lived places that were on vital grids, and so I've almost never run out of power.
So 14 days.
Yeah.
With Irma.
Yeah.
So Matthew hit the year before, 11 months before, 10 months before, and we had power back on by Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So it hit Friday at noon. By Sunday morning, we had power back. The way our neighborhood works is the south part of the neighborhood is fed from the south from another block away in another neighborhood.
Yeah.
The northern part of the neighborhood is all fed from the northern part of the neighborhood. It's just the kind of a funky way the neighborhood's laid out.
Yeah.
Which makes us a really small group of homes either way. So they were without power for over a week in Matthew, and then Irma hit, and we had a tree go down on top of a house and took out a power line. So it took time to get the tree crew there, and then you had the power line crew there. It was, I think it was close to 14 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were sleeping out here at the office for so long. Friends of ours that had moved to North Carolina for the storm were like, oh, our house is open. You can go down there. Normally we'd be like, no. We're like, yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're the best friends ever. And we're going down there.
Yeah.
And so we stayed at their house for, I want to say like 4 or 5 days till the power got back on.
We never lost power in any of those storms. Oh. In the house that we lived in West Augustine, it was super high up. They had built up the neighborhood. It was a new build when we bought it in 2006. And so the power lines were all underground and we never lost power. So my parents would come to our house. Everyone would come and hang out in our neighborhood because we always had power. People brought food and put in our refrigerators so that it wouldn't go bad.
And then you stole their food.
We didn't. We cooked it for them and we shared a meal.
I'm just
We're
kidding.
not thieves.
I'm just kidding.
But the AC thing, we had no AC for a week. It wasn't a power outage. It was just our AC broke while we were on vacation. And we came back and we didn't have any money because we just come back from vacation. And so we had to wait for
A check.
No, we had to wait for my husband's stepfather who can fix air conditioning units. But he had just started his week, so we had to wait for him to finish his work week so that he could come up. And a friend of my husband at work had an AC, a window unit.
Plugged it in.
And so that was Isabella slept in our room with us.
We were out of town last year and Matt, my son, was watching the house, and the AC went out and he had to borrow a window unit from his girlfriend's dad.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't know what happened. I'm like, I don't know what happened either. It got fixed, but it took a little bit of time to get it fixed, to get parts and everything. Yeah. This is the first day since the time change.
Yes.
That I have felt good.
I'm glad you do. Maybe I'll feel good tomorrow.
Usually it's been just crushing me at about 3:00 in the afternoon. I mean, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, okay, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. And then it's like, I got to take a nap. Yeah. I got to lay down for 15, 20 minutes. That 1 hour has got me so messed up.
Yeah.
And then next week where I'm going is another hour time change back the other way. So it's like, at the end of this month, my sleep rhythms are going to be so messed up. I'll have been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 time changes. So
yeah.
Not much. Each one's only an hour, but it's an hour there, an hour back, hour there, hour back, hour there.
Well, it's like every other week you're on a different time zone.
Yes.
It's wild.
I feel like we're doing the show at Central Time.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the internet on Monday. So I've had just after the show, I've had the internet be kind of spotty and weird while I'm doing production breakdown after the show and uploading and archiving and things like that. And so it's delayed me a little bit, but it hasn't been that big of a deal. So I haven't what is there to do unless someone that's smarter than me is here when it's happening? They can't really fix it. And so I'm always alone. So I just dealt with it. And then Monday, it wrecked our show.
Yeah.
Because time change, our after show period is now during the show. Yes, so we're going to see what we can do about making sure that doesn't happen again. I don't know.
I hope.
It's hard to fix it if it's not happening in front of people that are smarter than me.
No. For Barbara Jean, stripper story of the day.
Stripper story.
This is from L.A., Barbara Jean. So the girls in L.A. decided they no longer wanted to work for management, so they formed a stripper co-op.
There's a stripper union?
There's a stripper co-op. And so the L.A. dancers started a virtual strip shows on Zoom.
Virtual strip?
Yes. Well, this is during the pandemic. They had to be kind of figure all this stuff out. But then they have started their own club now.
All right.
Yes. So a worker cooperative is a business is owned by people who also work there and is democratically run. One person, one vote. Worker co-ops is not as popular in the U.S. as there are in other countries, but they are on the rise, according to...
Weird.
Oh, man.
According to the Democracy at Work Institute?
Yes. Yep.
That doesn't sound like a socialist front company at all.
It doesn't sound like the Democracy Work Institute doesn't sound like.
I heard a weird factoid on the way here that Portland, Oregon has the most strip clubs per capita in the country.
I heard it was Pensacola.
Portland.
I heard it was Pensacola.
Oregon. I don't see.
I heard Pensacola a long time ago. It had the most churches and strip clubs. That's what I heard. And you live there, so.
Actually, I never did. My parents did when they got married, and they had my brother there. I was close to Pensacola.
This is great if you're Googling this.
So funny.
Yeah.
Portland has more strip clubs per capita than any other city in the United States, with one strip club for every 11,826 residents. Portland far outranks Miami, New Orleans, and Las Vegas, larger cities with long-held reputations as meccas for adult entertainment. It's one strip club for every 11,826 residents.
So this is the problem whenever you type this stuff in.
Oh, man.
So I typed in city with the most strip clubs. What I got is a list of strip clubs from here to Panama City. Tell me my computer wasn't listening to me. Oh, my God.
So the reason I heard this is because someone was telling a story on a podcast I was listening to about how it was a comedian talking about like doing gigs around cities and how weird it was when he was in Portland. He and his friends went to a strip club and ended up like having a weird interaction with a celebrity. So they were kind of embarrassed and they left. And the friend points across the parking lot and there was a second strip club in the same parking lot. And that one had a drive-through, but it was vegan food. So there was a vegan strip club in the same parking lot as a strip club that had like a $6.99 steak special.
I'm so glad Davey and Troy are not here today.
A vegan strip club.
I'm so glad Davey and Troy is not
they're talking
here
about it
today.
right here. Casa Diablo, first vegan gentleman's club.
So I have two articles that popped up, right? Two different stories. One says Portland has one per capita for every 11,286 residents. The other story said Portland turns out with one strip club for every 9,578 residents. Narrowly, barely edging out Tampa at 10,813. But if Portland's residency is one for every 11,286, and Tampa would be number one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of those, looking at those two stories side to side, you're like, oh man.
Which one's newer?
Las Vegas.
I think this one's newer because people have left Portland.
People left Portland. If they left Portland, there would be, yes, you're correct. Let's see. This article was published May 14th, 2013.
I could be wrong.
This article, City Data, was published on, oh gosh, it's not even a cool one. Looks like, tells me this is posted in 2019.
2019.
So there's no telling where we are in 2023 after all of the moving and shaking that went on around the country.
Price Economics is the one that I got my numbers from, which match your numbers. But they're not saying Tampa. And Tampa is not in their chart of U.S. cities with the most strip clubs. No, it is. 28.
28.
There it is. There's your chart. Houston's got 65.
Well, that's just straight clubs, not
that's
per
straight
person.
numbers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not straight clubs, the straight number of clubs.
We have
because we're not judging any type of strip club here. They're all fine.
So this is how Mike ends up going down a rabbit hole that makes me have to answer numbers questions. America's strippiest cities. It's the funniest chart I've ever seen.
America's strippiest cities. Barbara Jean, look it up. America's strippiest cities. All this because we haven't talked about strippers for months.
This has Portland, Oregon, 54 clubs, and then it's per capita, so 8.86. And then Tampa is 28 clubs, 7.9. So Portland beats Tampa, according to this article.
What's the city with the most strip clubs?
Just the most number?
Just the most
Houston,
number.
Texas.
I have figures. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Including the girls at the
Even what's on stage.
Yeah, see? We both went there.
Los Angeles beats out, let's see. Los Angeles is 52. So they're third place in just raw numbers.
RJ says he's been to the Alaskan Bush Company in Eugene, Oregon.
The Alaskan Bush Company. I love the pun. Do you need company that has a bush?
Oh, gosh.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's too funny.
So obviously Oregon is the strippiest state. What do you think the second strippiest state is?
Florida, because you got Tampa and Miami and Orlando.
West Virginia.
What?
Number of clubs per, I don't know.
So what you're saying is that everyone goes there to see their cousin strip?
I didn't say that.
I did.
I didn't say that. So the top 5 strippiest states are Oregon, West Virginia, Nevada. No one's surprised about Nevada. I'm not really surprised about South Dakota either, because you have lots of workers who have gone there for industrial jobs and they work there for a couple of weeks and then they go home. So they're just lonely when they're there.
And they get paid pretty good money at some of those industrial oil refinery jobs. So,
and then Wyoming. And isn't that where Troy's always saying is so drunk?
No.
What is it? Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's a state that, for whatever reason, it always leads all the drunk categories.
Well, they're number 8 on strippiest states.
Okay. Where's Florida?
So they're drunk, but they're not.
Where's Florida?
Number 13. Lucky number 13.
Please tell me Utah's the last one. Is Utah the lowest strip state? Please. It's got to be Utah. Now I know why Pete loves it so much.
No, it's not Utah.
Oh, man.
It's New Hampshire.
New Hampshire?
Yeah.
Where's Utah?
Utah is 45.
How many strip clubs are in the whole state of Utah? I'm going to say less than 5.
9.
Dang it.
Well, so Utah, I think maybe a decade or 20 years ago, it would have been Utah. But because there's the Mormon influence, which we're expecting to keep strip club numbers low.
Yeah.
But then there's also the amazing skiing. And so you've gotten a lot of liberals coming in to the ski areas in Utah. And so Utah is this very weird, both sides of the spectrum, extreme sort of place. You have very, very liberal people there that are coming there for the ski business. And then you have the very, very conservative people that are there because Mormons literally got run out of the country. And so they settled in Utah when it was not a state.
I'm reading answers from Susan Johnson as you're talking.
I tried to use Utah as a trivia answer last night. It runs in the family, Susan.
Yes, it does run in the family. Now we know where someone got it. What's the state with the least amount of strip clubs?
Vermont has 1.
Okay.
But because their population is so low, New Hampshire with 2 has a lower per capita rating.
Does anybody have, I guess no one has 0. Everybody has at least a strip club.
Everyone has at least 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Alaska?
Where's Alaska? Number 15. They have 7.
That's not bad. Hawaii?
Hawaii is number 7 at 17 strip clubs.
Really?
Yep. Well, it's a vacation place. People go there for bachelor parties and stuff.
It's a long way to go for a bachelor party.
You got money and time.
It is a long way to go for a bachelor party.
But there's there's a lot of tourism in Hawaii from the West Coast and also from Japan, because the people I knew that were dolphin trainers in Hawaii, they had to learn how to give basic commands for like photo prompts with dolphin interactions. They had to learn how to say it in Japan. That's why I know one more time in Japanese. Moichido.
Okay.
Because you would have them pose and the photographer would say whether it was a good shot or not. And if it wasn't, moichido. And you would do it again.
I'm
I
sure,
bet strip
I'm
club
sure
workers
strip clubs
also know Moichido.
Yes, Moichido is also there as well.
Yes.
I was trying to figure out how to say that politely
Well,
and not
hospitality
impugn
workers.
you in any way, shape, or form.
Hospitality workers probably know Moichido.
I probably do. I would say there's a good bet that they probably do.
Ohio has 134 strip clubs. Florida has 200. I'm not surprised. We're a vacation spot too.
Yes.
Texas, 213. We only beat them. We're only 13 less than Texas.
And they're a lot bigger than us.
They're a lot bigger than us.
Basically, Texas is underachieving.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of sparse land. It's those big ranches.
I love the T-shirts that were up in Alaska mocking Texas's size because Alaska is so much bigger than Texas. And, you know, there were a lot of size matters T-shirts.
That's funny because you would think with the temperature change of Alaska being so cold that it would be smaller.
You might.
That's what Seinfeld told me.
That's what, had more to do with being in the water.
Alaska also has the longest coastline.
It does have the longest coastline. A lot
You're
of
not
water.
helping this.
A lot of cold water in Alaska.
Yep.
I'm just playing this straight the whole way through.
That was how you played yesterday, too. The only one not ever interested in a guy.
No, I laughed at that. Really, when you guys were talking, I was like, there's no way I can. But I did miss the really good point about that hole, which we cleaned up today.
We cleaned it up today.
Hopefully we cleaned that up and made it a
We
little
lead
better
with
today.
our misses.
Yes. We never did 5 questions.
No, we didn't.
I only have 1. We might we'd have to dig
Here,
for some
let me
more
see
questions.
if I can pull up some.
So I thought of one.
Mm-hmm.
It was when's the last time you took a bite of something, and when you took it, you immediately knew this was not good. So for me, the other day, I was looking through the break room for a snack, and there was some peanut brittle that someone had given us from Christmas.
Oh, no.
Now, it was in a bag. It was sealed. It was mass-produced. It was not homemade peanut brittle. But I'm like, okay, I get a little bit of a sugar rush. This won't be bad. There's some peanuts in it. This will be okay. But as soon as I took a bite out of it, I realized I don't know how long it's going to take me to get this off of my teeth, but I hope I don't have to go to the dentist anytime soon.
Yeah.
It was like, that was a really bad decision.
Yeah.
Eating wise, I'm like, no, shouldn't have done that.
The last one I can remember, so there are two.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember which one happened last. So I told this one in the comments on the morning show. I took a bite of a roller hot dog from a gas station.
Oh.
And I felt a tail in my mouth. It wasn't a big one, but I definitely felt a tail, and I spit it out the window for sure. And I don't eat a lot of plants. I don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. And so I was on one of my, I'm going to be a healthier person and eat more fruits and vegetables kick.
Yes.
And I took a bite of an apple and a worm came at me. And I threw the apple out the window. And I was like, guess what? Combos never do this to me. Doritos never do this to me. Nope. We're done.
Favorite combos?
So they don't make them anymore. Nacho cheese pretzel combos were my favorite. And I ate them like a squirrel. I would crack them open and eat the nacho cheese out of it and then eat the pretzels. I'm a very strange person.
They were okay. The pizza flavored one to me were the best.
Yeah, Louis likes pizza flavored
Pizza
ones.
flavored were good. I haven't had a combo in 30 years.
Well, so they were my road trip snack. And that's the only time I would eat them was on road trips. And so Louis would always laugh about, okay, let's go stop at the gas station and get you your combos. And then one trip I went and they were gone. And so as soon as I could, I Googled it and they had discontinued nacho cheese pretzel combos. And I was devastated. Like, what am I going to eat on road trips now? And so they ended up bringing them back and I was so excited. This was a few years later, they bring them back. I buy them, totally different formulation. They were so nasty. I threw the bag away. I didn't even eat the whole thing.
Oof.
It's nasty.
So you brought it up, road trip food.
Ooh.
So I don't hardly ever eat fast food anymore. There was a time when I was fast food 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah, you're construction. You're always out.
We're always out running around and you grab food from wherever you could. I knew what the specials were at all the different McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King, right? But now road trip is a chance to like that. That's like amnesty, and you could stop and actually get a McDonald's meal or a Wendy's meal or a Chick-fil-A meal.
Yeah.
When we're out west, if you're anywhere near an In-N-Out burger, In-N-Out is so good. I have like a 200-mile deviation rule. If I can get to it in 200 miles and back, I'll do it.
That is
because I'm not going to see In-N-Out burger again, right?
It's a wide loop you're going to take.
So if it's like a 3-hour detour, I'll make that for In-N-Out burger.
So you're about to leave on another trip. You're going to have to let us know whether you've acquired In-N-Out.
I can already tell you because in 2020 when we were out in Texas, we drove from Houston to Austin, and there was an In-N-Out burger between that had just opened. The line was around the store. Was blocking entrance into the Dick's Sporting Goods, which was next to it, and then wrapped around the turn lane to get into the Dick's.
In Dick's parking lot.
Yes. It's okay. Just work with it. And then backed up onto the interstate.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's bigger, including the In-N-Out at Dick's. Right next to Dick's.
Just reminded of like...
Sometimes I have to just throw nuggets at Barbara Jean so she'll get happy.
First scene in a movie.
Yeah.
In the show Friends. And he was like accidentally in a porn. He didn't know he was in a porn because he was just a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah.
Until like stuff starts happening. So all the friends are like, we have to see this. And so they watch his scene in it. And he's like, see, there I am. There I am. There I am. And the first time I watched it, I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it now. It's a funny joke.
So road trip food.
Road trip food, yes.
Combos are out now because they changed them. So what do you got?
And they changed Pringles. They don't season Pringles the same way, so that ruined those for me. I was a sour cream and onion Pringles girl too.
Yep.
And how very dare they? So at this point, I like Gardettos and Reese's Pieces for the road snacks. For we're like our fast food go-tos are Zaxby's and Chick-fil-A. I don't usually get McDonald's food, and so that's kind of a chance my kids get to have McDonald's when I'm in the car, because it's never my choice.
No, I have not had the Jiffy Burger yet. I have had, the Jiffy Burger has peanut butter on it, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I have had a peanut butter and jelly burger.
Yeah.
They have them over in Tallahassee. There's a really good burger place. They have all these different hamburgers. And I ordered it because I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And I said, well, how bad can, this? It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was like eating, part of your mouth was eating a hamburger and the other was eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was just the best. It was really,
feels like
really
a
good.
Meal that would trigger an identity crisis.
Yeah, I loved it. I was like, this is really, really good. So yeah, I was disappointed they didn't put jelly on it.
Yeah.
But no, that was really good. Reese's Pieces are good. M&Ms. I hardly ever eat M&Ms anymore.
Yeah.
Just something that's kind of a good snack along the way. I've gotten addicted when flying on planes to the trail mix with the M&Ms in it.
Oh, if we're flying on a trip,
Yeah.
then I want to stop at a Cinnabon.
I just like to walk by and get the sugar high. It's like a contact high, right? I don't smoke, but you walk by somewhere and you're like, I wonder if I drug tested tomorrow, what would happen?
But I don't, if I'm traveling with my kids, I don't stop and get a Cinnabon. Because I don't want to be trapped in a plane with my children.
Bouncing off the
That sounds
bulkheads,
like a nightmare, and it's not worth it.
I can't do
but
this.
If I'm traveling alone, Cinnabon.
You would think, as much as I like
extra
donuts
icing.
and sugar and cinnamon and all that, and I just have never been a huge Cinnabon fan. I don't know why they're really good.
And
but
Louis in it for like the cinnamon part, and I'm in it for the icing. So we're the perfect pair to share a Cinnabon.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's airport food's almost a different realm of food.
Yeah.
Because you have to figure out what's not going to kill you on the plane. Right?
What's not going to cause a problem.
There's certain things that could cause a problem on the plane, and everybody's different, and there's other things that are safe.
Yeah.
And the same with drinks. You have to kind of figure out, well, how many times do I want to go to the bathroom on the plane?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of just, there's strategery involved. There's
For
strategery involved in
communal
plane
bathroom
Yes.
with very little airflow. Yeah. You have to
Train-
be kind.
Trains didn't bother me. We took a big train in Alaska. The bourbon was great on the train. The food was great on the train. View was great. It's awesome. Trains.
Well, you can open windows in trains. You can't open windows
The
on
train just seemed
planes.
easier than the plane.
We've taken a train to the Grand Canyon from Williams, Arizona. There's a train track that's dedicated just to Grand Canyon tours, and it's fantastic. It's great. Observation car, you're up in a glass dome. You can see everything. They have entertainment that comes through, and they play music for you. There's
Strippers?
a bar.
Did you say strippers?
I said entertainment.
Right.
They're cowboys that play guitar.
That are stripping?
No.
Sorry, Barbara Jean's still online. I'm just trying to keep her interested.
Mark Zuckerberg is a great man.
He's
a
wonderful.
great
Threads.
man.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
But that's a lot of fun.
No.
They come and they hold up the train at the end because they have like a shootout in the corral before you get on the train for the kids.
And then they,
And then the cowboys play music for you, and then they have.
in the best
We're gonna
job
ignore
ever.
that. And then they have
Best job ever.
they have a hold up. And my husband and I, the first time we went on this train, we didn't realize that's how you tip all of the performers, and we did not save any cash that day.
What?
For the hold up. We didn't get it. We just thought it was part of the show. We didn't pick up on that. So we were young and dumb, but we definitely had cash the second time we went, and we were able to tip the bandits and all the other cowboys. It was a lot of fun.
It sounds so weird. I just got to tell you. All of that just sounds really, really weird.
You definitely want to be giving a tip to a cowboy. not
Yes,
getting
you
a tip
do.
from a
I
cowboy.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with
But
that.
when we were on our honeymoon, we got married in November, and we honeymooned accidentally over Thanksgiving. And so when we took the train, it had already started their Polar Express season.
Yep.
And so when we got off the train after a glorious day at Grand Canyon, cocktails in the train, it was great. We had a champagne toast at sunset. It was fantastic. We get out of the train, and there's just kids in flannel pajamas with silver bells and gold tickets, because they were doing the Polar Express. And so it smelled like hot chocolate and Christmas trees. And there was just kids in flannel pajamas everywhere. And we're like, someday we're going to have kids and we're going to bring them to this. And turns out that's expensive. So we didn't do it. But we wanted to. It's very inspiring.
Is that
for
the
us
year you
as
had to fix your air conditioner?
There's been lots of years we've had to fix
Lots of
things that
years.
were unexpected.
All right, we have tomorrow the Blevins boys are in.
Yes.
So we've got trivia. We got all kinds of news stories.
We've got to break down our State of the Union bingo.
We have to do State of the Union bingo results,
Yep.
which I think I did fairly good.
Yeah.
I think I had a couple of good ones in there. I do have a revelation tomorrow about the State of the Union.
Oh.
It may not have been the first time that Joe gave that speech.
Oh.
Somebody did a montage of phrases. Some of them go back to the very first one he did. So he will have done them 3 in a row. Other ones, it's just 2 years. But there were a lot of repeats in the speech. And so that kind of got me. I was like, really? No wonder he does so well delivering it, because he
He's been practicing it
for 3 years. But the other part is, if there's so many lines in it that are the same, isn't that kind of an indication you didn't get anything done that you said you would get done?
Yeah.
So
you're recycling 3 years ago.
Yeah, if you're telling me 3 years ago you were going to fix something and it hasn't been fixed yet,
That's a problem.
it might be a problem.
Might be.
It might be. And then Scott Adams, I was listening to him today. We'll talk a little bit about his observation on headlines of where people, what certain demographic groups are leaving some parties and going to other parties. And the way he talks about it is very interesting. So we'll look at that from a Scott Adams perspective.
All right. Bobby wants to know if there was plagiarism involved. It sounds like he was just repeating his own words.
Well,
Maybe not.
in Bobby's defense, he might not know they were his own words. So he might have thought he was lifting them from somebody who was good, not realizing.
I don't think
that
Joe had anything to do with crafting the speech.
I don't think Joe had much to do with delivering it either. So, yeah. Yes.
Brought to you by, never mind.
Nah, we're good. Threads is wonderful.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. You guys should
I
really
find
try
all my
Threads.
friends on Threads.
Try Threads. Okay, we will see everyone tomorrow. You guys tune in tomorrow morning. The morning show will be on. The fabulous morning show crew will be here, and we'll be back tomorrow night.
We will be.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Bye.